Okay. Okay, my name is Tracy Riddle, and I am the Director of Educator Effectiveness. I'm going to be talking to you today about how to complete your portfolio teacher roster and to make sure that all your teachers are rostered and have access to Portfolio. We're going to discuss how to complete your roster verification form, and we will discuss those teachers that should or should not be added to your rosters, and mostly the conversation will be around those that could be exempt and PYE. I would like to introduce you to my colleagues that are here with me today, Amy Floyd and Micah Fager. Micah is our brand new teammate. So I will start with you, Micah, if you'd like to say hello and introduce yourself.
Hi, like she said, I'm Micah Fager, and I'm the new team coordinator. And I'm happy to be here. This will be my first meeting today as well. So I'm excited to be here.
And Amy.
Hi, I'm Amy Floyd. I'm the Director of Data and District Support for the Educator Effectiveness team. I saw several of you this morning during our Evaluation Configurator office hour.
Great. And thank you both for coming and supporting portfolio implementation. And thank you all, portfolio leads, for being here today. It's great to have this opportunity to get together and talk about the upcoming deadlines and the upcoming things that we can do to help teachers. And as we begin this presentation, I do just want to reiterate that portfolio implementation is for the teachers to receive their 35% individual growth score. This is an opportunity for our non-tested teachers to have their own score. And we appreciate districts that support their teachers and that you can go back and share this information with your teachers. So in today's meeting, I am going to talk about the portfolio teacher roster verification process. I sent you an email a few weeks ago with the links to complete your form, but today I will talk to you about how to do that and give you some examples. We'll talk a little bit about partial year exemptions, and then I will take you through your next steps for getting all of this information done in our system and how we can support you. So let's talk about roster verification. You have all submitted your teacher rosters by the deadline in the first semester. So during this next few weeks during roster verification, this is a time for you to log into the platform. You all have district administrator access. So it's a time for you to check your user directory and make sure all your teachers are there. You can also check that user directory to make sure all your teachers have logged in and activated their account, that any teachers who got left off, that they have access, and any teachers that are there that should not have access any longer, that we get those removed. It's very important that you do this review of your user directory and you send all your corrections to us by February the 3rd. And we'll talk about that date a little bit later in today's presentation. But it's very important that you have that date, February 3rd, in mind. Also, the deadline for us to receive your form is February the 10th. You may be wondering why we do roster verification, and it really benefits everyone involved. For our teachers, it's critical that through this process that we ensure that they do have access to the platform. Without access to the platform, they won't be able to get a portfolio score. So we need to ensure that they all are not only rostered, but are able to activate their accounts. So they can upload their student work, so they can self-score their artifacts and get their portfolios completed by the May 1st deadline. And this will ensure that they can receive that student growth portfolio score, which is 35% of their final level of effectiveness, their LOE. For you as portfolio leads, roster verification helps you to meet those roles and responsibilities that we talked about back in July. As a portfolio lead, as the district support for your teachers, roster verification is really an opportunity for you to maintain those accurate records. It gives you the opportunity to get in the platform, add those teachers that need to be added, remove the teachers that need to be removed, and really take an active role in monitoring your teachers' progress to ensure, again, that they all are in there and can complete their portfolio. Keep in mind, if a teacher does not complete their portfolio by the May 1st deadline, they will receive a score, and that score is an I, and it means incomplete. Teachers that have an I for their portfolio score will not receive an LOE. For me, for the state administrators, it's so important for us as well that we have roster verification, because we hire our peer reviewers based on the number of teachers that are implementing portfolios in each of the content areas. So it's critical that we hire the right number of peer reviewers to ensure, again, that all of your portfolio teachers are scored, and at the end of the whole process, they receive that score to generate their LOE. So let's take a dive into how do you do roster verification. First and foremost, you need to all make sure you can log in to Portfolium as district administrators. When you log into the platform, you'll need to hover over your initials, which will be right here, and just make sure that it says 2223 and that it says district administrator. When school first started and you were rostered as a district administrator, you all had teacher access, but that was for the first semester. And we talked about in previous office hours, that was really for you to be able to just play around in Portfolium and see what teachers see. Now that it's time for roster verification, all of the district administrators have been removed from the teacher directory because we don't want to include you in our teacher numbers to receive a portfolio score. If you happen to be a district administrator who is also a teacher, you should not have been removed. So if you see that you're not there any longer and you are a portfolio teacher as well, be sure to let us know. But once you all are logged in as your district administrator role, you want to go over to the far left of your screen and make sure you have highlighted user directory. And here's where you'll get a general list of all of your teachers who are active, who have been given access, have not been removed. These are all of your teachers that are expected to complete a portfolio. Again, we've talked about this before, but just a reminder, if they are not green, that is a concern at this point. Everyone should have logged in. If they're not green, they have not logged in. So you want to take a glance at that on this main page. But we also have a report tab that will take you to your user directory report. So when you click, and I'll go back one, when you click under user directory on this blue tab that says reporting, then you'll get this screen. In the middle of your screen, you'll see this chart, but underneath it, whoops, excuse me, you'll see the word teachers, and that's the report you want to click. When you click that word teachers, it's going to bring you a Excel download. So you're going to want to click on that download your teacher report Excel file. When you get that report, you'll see every teacher that you have rostered since the beginning. When you look at that report, you want to look at column R, and you'll see the title of that column is called Was Access Removed? So you should see your name with a 1 beside it because district administrators were removed. If you have any teachers that you've already requested that we remove access, you should see a 1 beside their name. Here you can see an example. All of these zeros are active in the platform. The teachers that have a 1 beside their name, they have been removed. So don't worry if you see a name and you think, oh, they should be removed. As long as they have a 1 here, that means they were removed. And if they were removed, they are not going to be on this screen with everybody who has access. I encourage you to go to this column R and filter out all of the ones so you can concentrate on the people who have access. So those are the ones with a 0. So I would encourage you to filter this to only look at your zeros. And once you have all of your zeros, then you will see your list of teachers that have access. If they have a 1, remember they no longer have access. Once you have this filter to everyone that has a 0 here that does have access, it's so important to check this information. You want to make sure that you do have their name spelled correctly. You want to make sure they are connected to the correct district ID, the correct school, that they do have the correct email. If there's a misspelling in that email, that could be why a teacher hasn't activated her account yet, because she won't be able to log in if she doesn't have, if she's trying to log in and she's missing a letter in her email that was submitted. If anything, I could say is the most important thing, it is that Tennessee license number. There are teachers in Tennessee with the same first and last name. There have been cases with teachers with the same first and last name in the same district. So when these final scores go to T-Encompass, they are going to go to T-Encompass connected to that license number. So don't assume that the license number is correct. Please check your teacher's license numbers to the license number in T-Encompass. That will ensure that the correct teacher receives the correct portfolio score. When you look at this file here, you will see some of the teachers don't have a model in the blank. If you see your teachers don't have a model, that means those teachers have not logged in and set their account. These teachers that you see here, 2 have selected kindergarten, 1 has selected pre-K. This district portfolio lead can tell she only had 3 to actually log in and set up their account. If it's blank, that's a concern that you may want to reach out to those teachers and say, I noticed you haven't logged in. They may not have submitted any work, but everyone should have logged in by now and set their models. When I look at this chart, I can see here's a teacher with a 0 under the column O. So I know he or she has not activated their account. This one who has already set her model to kindergarten has a 1. So that tells me they have activated their account. And I can even see what day they activated their account. You can also see what day were they given access to their account in column P. So all of these are things you want to check. This column here, again, if they have a 0, they may have a green circle on your user directory because they have logged in. But if they have a 0 here, that means they did not activate. They didn't set their model. They haven't set their collections. So don't just check the green dots. Also check this activated column to see, has the teacher not only logged in, but he or she has also activated, got it started. If they haven't, it may be that they're having problems or having issues activating. It may be they just haven't done it yet. So you want to reach out to these teachers that have a 0 in the activated column. The next thing you want to do is to ensure that the teachers that are on that user directory are the right teachers. We want to keep in mind that the teachers that you submit to remove from your roster, at this point in January, we see teachers begin to be marked PYE and T-Encompass. You want to talk to your evaluation configurators to see if you have any teachers who are actually now PYE. As a portfolio lead, and especially in our large districts, you may not be aware of a teacher who maybe has left the district or has moved schools or changed grades. So you want to keep in mind who are those teachers that are exempt and who are the teachers that have already been marked PYE. Just as a quick reference, we have an active link here on this PowerPoint where you can click and look at page 11 if you need reminded of who would be exempt, who should not be in your user directory. So if you're wondering about PYE, I do want to share with you a little bit of information about PYE. And again, I want to really stress to work with your district's evaluation configurators. They can also give you information on teachers that qualify for PYE. Teachers who are not under contract for at least 120 days. They were going to be, or teachers that are not full-time teachers, they are going to be PYE and TN Compass. If a teacher is marked PYE and TN Compass, they are not required to submit a portfolio. Teachers that are marked PYE do not generate LOEs. So therefore, if they submit a portfolio, that portfolio score will not count as 35% of an LOE because they don't receive an LOE. If you have a teacher who does not qualify for PYE and they don't submit a portfolio, again, they will receive an incomplete and they will not get an LOE. But this is not the same as a PYE. Teachers marked PYE that don't receive LOEs. State board policy states that those teachers that are PYE, their pacing for the next year, which would be our 23-24 school year, will go back to their prior year, which would be their 21-22 pacing. An educator who is not PYE, who just doesn't submit their portfolio, those are teachers who don't receive LOEs. And a teacher who doesn't receive an LOE based on this incomplete, they don't fall back to prior year pacing. They will have to receive the full pacing as if they were starting over as a brand new teacher. So again, work with your evaluation configurators. Make sure that your teachers that are qualifying for PYE are sent in to be removed. If you submit someone to be removed and the reason is PYE, they must have that PYE status in TN Compass in order for me to remove them. We cannot remove a teacher unless that PYE status has been turned on in TN Compass. So your next steps. Pull down the add and remove template. You can get it here from this PowerPoint. This PowerPoint will not be live on the team website until next week. So if you don't already have it, it is in our October, I think it's either September or October PowerPoint that is live on the team website. So make sure you use this template. You want to submit this template to portfolio.questions. Add the teachers that need to be added. Remove the teachers that need to be removed. And in both of these cases, you're going to put an X in the correct column. So if someone needs to be taken out of the user directory and you put an X under remove, remember to put the reason in the box next to it. If they're exempt, they fell under one of those categories that exempts them from submitting portfolios, or if you're removing them because now they have been marked PYE. If you realize that there was a teacher who was left off your original roster and you don't see them in your user directory and you need to add them, you would do the same thing. You will put the X in the add box and you will submit them on the same add and remove template. The last day that we will add teachers to Portfolium is Friday, February the 3rd. So you want to be sure you check this and that all of your teachers who should implement are added and that file is sent to us by Friday, February the 3rd. Be sure, just like you're going to remove the teachers that are marked PYE, please be sure you're not adding any teachers who you just hired. If you just hired a teacher in January, that teacher is going to qualify for PYE. So PYE teachers do not submit a portfolio. So be careful of those that you add, that you are adding teachers. At this point, it should be adding teachers that were accidentally left off the original roster, not someone who you just hired. Once you've checked your roster and you have submitted your add and remove, then you can begin to fill out your roster verification form. I put a link to the roster verification form in the email reminder of today's meeting, but you can also access it here. Once you know your user directory is complete and correct, we've made all the corrections that you've requested, then fill out this form. If you check your user directory today or tomorrow and you see everything is already correct, go ahead and submit your roster verification form. The deadline to turn in this form is Friday, February 10th. Next month, we will have everybody rostered, everybody verified. So next month, we're going to start talking about the other reports in the platform and how you can begin to monitor teachers' submissions, what collections they've completed, what collections they haven't completed, how to tell if you have teachers that have 100% completion. So I'll show you how to check those reports. And I'll also give you information on our peer review selection and our peer reviewer applications next month. In March, we'll continue to monitor those accounts, make sure our teachers are moving right along. And then in April, we'll check submission status, checking to make sure everyone is complete. And then on May the 1st, all portfolios will have that deadline to have been submitted. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to email us at portfolio.questions@tn.gov, and we will get back to you as fast as we can. Thank you, and I am going to stop recording and turn it over to you, Amy.